Hey, it's Andrew here. Yeah, just doing a little repair on my bike. Got this new belt. You can see it hanging right here. So that's the new one. Doing a replacement because I had stripped all of the teeth on the belt. Doing it about 70 miles an hour. That was quite a surprise. So here we can see some pieces of the belt that we found basically inside kind of the unit. Those pieces were kind of stuck up right up in this area here. Yeah, so for that you could use something like kind of like this guy here. It's a nice little tool. Really nice to go in and pull those belt fragments off. So that's a belt tooth right there. So anyway, so that was quite a surprise. So now I've loosened up everything so we can get through this video kind of quicker. So let's get you guys here. There we go. So right in this area here, we've got this unit that we've loosened up. We've got bolts here, 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 here. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if your bike has a center stand like this, you want to take this bolt off first, probably before you want to take this bolt off first before you take these other bolts. Otherwise, that's priority there. What you want to do with that is get your tool in like this. Get that guy in there, hold it in place. Get a wrench on the other side, and get a mallet and hit it in reverse. Then you have someone holding the bolt on this side. Tap it in reverse. You have clockwise, counterclockwise. Get that bolt out here. Get the bolt out on the other side. So this unit is just hanging in there. And inside there, you've got a washer that sits in here like so. Make sure that stays in there. Okay. Now, one thing I've done here is when I took this unit off here. You've got basically blue tape. So where the blue tape is, we have a shorter bolt. So that just reminds me, the shorter bolt goes with the blue, shorter bolt. The other longer screws go in here. So that actually happens twice here. So here we have a short bolt here, and these other bolts are regular size. So except for this guy. This guy comes right through there. Okay. Now you want to use a rubber mallet when you're hitting that bolt, that nut loose. Now, here what you've got is once this unit is loose, just let it hang here. Don't pull on it. Okay, and then you're going to pull the belt off. Here you're going to take a screw off here, open up this assembly here. And that guy comes off just like that. So basically one bolt right there. Now you have access to the belt, and you can you might be able to see this. It's all completely stripped. All right, gonna pop it underneath this guy. There. So here we have a stripped belt, completely stripped. So that was pretty bad. It happened at about 70 miles an hour. So that's not good. So that's a throw out. Okay. Here we have a nice brand new belt. So you can see the teeth are nice and fresh on here. So it's looking good. Now, let's see what we've covered so far. Covered the short bolts, removed the cover. Now one thing here, you want to put this guy in gear and measure how much movement is inside here. we go. Don't want too much movement in here. I want to make sure that it's nice and solid. Pause it right there. Double check one thing. All right, now what I did is went out, just got some paint here and just put a marker on this guy. You don't want to have more than 1 millimeter of play right here. So I've got my measuring tool here at 1 millimeter. Got my paint on here. Just measuring that it's within tolerance of what the specification says. If I look there, I'm good. If you're not within spec, I probably want to take it to the shop for them to have it work on. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put the belt on. All right, let's get this guy on here. Oh, gotta pause this, gotta count the teeth here. All right, now I've got the new belt on. Let's get this guy going. Another thing to mention is, so on the rear wheel, you've got these basically we call damping elements. So basically you have pieces of rubber here and here and here. They're on the inside of this hub. So when you rotate the drive unit that the belt goes on, you basically, you should feel some rubber resistance. It should not feel metal to metal. So when you move this guy back and forth, it should move a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. Because when the engine torques, these damper elements, they absorb the shock. So it's not such a hard shock to the wheel. So anyways, that's a kind of a light way to inspect that. We may not have to go in and make an adjustment here, but the idea is in case you need to adjust the belt, we'll loosen these two guys here, loosen this guy, okay? Hold the instructions there real quick. So after these guys are loose, on the underside of the hub, okay, you basically take a pin, hit that up, that'll loosen the assembly. So that'll allow you to move the hub slightly forward or backwards based on turning of screw number 2 here. So we may have to do that, we may not. We shall see. But it's a pretty important point. Nice fit there. Got a little bit of a lip here that this thing locks onto. Got to get it under there. Okay. It's looking pretty darn good. It's looking really good, actually. Sure it's on the teeth here. Alright, this guy's snug. Snug is good. So I'm just trying to put in about 1/8 of an inch on here, on outside And then what I can do is tap the belt in. Just a hair. So, try to see if we can do something like that. This may have been adjusted in the shop at one point, but we don't know that. Nice and snug there. It's good. Make sure the belt's nice and taut, which it is. Oh. So what I did there is just really compress with my hand and allowed extra pressure on here, and that allowed the belt to go on nicely. This looks perfect. And you want to check the tension of the belt with no weight on the motorcycle, so nobody on it. So apply finger pressure here. The belt should move just a little bit here, very little. BMW has a little gizmo, a little tool that you go in there and press it and so on, and basically it simulates your finger moving it up and down, so it's kind of BS. So the belt's on there, it looks really good. Really nice. Okay, now I'll go ahead and put these things back together. The other thing you want to watch out for is right inside here, when you take this plate off, you'll either have metal or plastic washers on the nuts on the inside here. So as you take these nuts out, you have washers popping out on the inside. So count them and put them back in the right spots, because this unit has to mount flush against the motorcycle frame. So be aware of that. So I'm going to start to get this together here. So this guy goes in. Actually, and we got this guy down here. So this is the washer that I was talking about earlier. That goes on here, like so. That goes right here. So that goes right through there. Make sure he's in there. You're loosening up both sides of this guy too. Remember that. Okay. Fingers holding the washer on the other side so it doesn't move towards me. Doesn't move away anyways. Yeah, she's being a little stubborn. Okay, it's almost there. You're gonna be stubborn, aren't you? Yeah, it's gonna be stubborn. Let's go get another tool. All right, so we've got the new belt on. We've got, notice there was some noise going on. So when you spin the wheel, what was happening is I was hearing some noises going on. So what I did is I removed the new belt, just loosened it over here so it's out of the way. And then I spun the wheel independently to see what the if there was any noise still occurring. So then what I realized is that the bearings, this whole assembly spins fine. So the wheel can rotate fine, no problem. And then, I mean, the way you do that is pull this off without the brake assist here and just spin the wheel with the center stand on. So what I did is I was looking into what else, why would there be a bit of a noise going on at this point. So then I went to remove the C-clip, which is right on this part here. Move that guy. Then to hold the wheel in place, I put about a 30-pound weight right here to hold the brake engaged. Then what I did is I put on a breaker bar. And then this was not on too tight, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this assembly off and add some grease on the inside here. Paying attention to the order of items as they come out, so they go back in the same order that they came out in. This right here is a 45mm socket wrench, and I went to Harbor Freight, and you can buy these a big old pack of large sockets for like 50 bucks, a super deal, just FYI. So 45mm. Alright, got this off. Nothing's there. So what I had to do is actually, I had to tap this on slightly so that it would actually bite its way on. So I'm going to leave it in there. No need to disassemble it now, because I'm going to pull it on there and then I'm going to do is tap it off. Not that that's a good habit, but you know, it's what you got to do at this point. So I'm just jiggling, keeping my finger here, okay. That's what they did. So I got my finger on this side and on the back side. So as I pull this driver unit, nothing's going to get misplaced, because this has to be come off correctly and go on correctly. All right. I'm just going to take a look, see what's loose here. Alright, so I took the unit out over here. What I did is I put a drop of paint on here, only just to remember that the paint faces me, so that when I put this together, and as I brought this to my workbench here, I noticed that the whole center piece moves by jiggling. If you jiggle the bottom, the whole thing moves. So then I remove the cap. It's the proper way to get this. This guy's going to come out and just tap the center. Okay. What I had done is I sprayed some penetrating catalyst on there, basically lubrication to the inside of the walls here, so that this would just loosen and help fall apart. Alright, so this needs to be cleaned up a little bit. This is how one unit's supposed to be. If you take a look at that, get the light going here a little better. So here we have a unit that's supposed to look like this. Which that looks fine here. I'll put it in the same way we found it. And then over here we have the same setup, but we could see that this guy is kind of in two pieces. It's not good, so we got to pay attention to the way they are set up. Ideally, what you want to do is replace this with a new set of dampers. So what I'm going to do now is basically clean this up. Just throw a little bit of lubricant in there, lubricant here, throw some lubricant in the spline, and then put it back together. So there's another piece. So I got two of these units that are in here. They're should be together, but they're broken. So I got to make sure that they go back in the correct order. So that's what the spline looks like inside there. So there, that's a much better look at this piece. So I'm going to clean this up, throw a little bit of grease inside here once it's cleaned up, and put it back together. The idea is when the wheel turns, what happens is this acts as a shock absorber for the wheel, so that the engine, it's not so much of a shock to the bike, so that this absorbs some shock. So anyways, the main reason I took this guy apart is because as this guy was turning like this, it was not turning true, it was slightly off. So what I wanted to do, and slightly off meaning it's providing some noise. So I wanted to inspect to see where the noise is coming, why the noise is there. I've determined that the bearings are okay in the wheel, so I'm just basically going to put some grease in here, clean this up a little, and put it back together with the hopes of getting rid of the noise. So. Okay, so I've cleaned this up now. Got my grease here. Just got a little bit on here. Inside, this is called the driver unit. I'm going to put some on this spline right here as well. The teeth look to be the same. Sometimes you see a key where one tooth or a series of teeth are in a different pattern. Yeah, this is very dry, so never comes apart. So you can see that's nice and cleaned up. Got a little lubrication here, here, here. We have lubrication here, here, and this is what the unit looks like. So this is considered the driver. That other unit's going to pop right in there. Okay. You don't have to get into this, but I went to this level because I wanted to have a quiet bike, even if it's not during high performance times. Make sure you don't put too much in there. You don't want this grease to squeeze its way out. Didn't feel right. we go. Any lubricants that you might have on there, wipe this up clean so it doesn't get on your belt. There you go. So now this has a little bit of flexibility in here. Whoa. Well, that fell off quickly. Just make sure it stays correctly. My hand on it this time. Paint's facing me. It's my reminder. I'm gonna wipe this off real quick. Alright, so we're going to put the wheel back together here. The driver unit here. Put some grease on this spline on this side as well. Right. Clean up the inside here. Here's a good look at those bolts real quick. Alright, so these are the two bolts that basically control the tension on the belt itself. So these two basically lock the unit from moving. This unit, as you tighten this guy, this one in the middle here, as you tighten this clockwise downward, what happens is the tension increases on the belt. As you back it off, release it, the tension loosens on the belt. So, all right, and then there's a pin underneath here in case you open these up to break this loose. These guys, you're supposed to back them off one turn only, not more. This you can go multiple turns. So it's one turn on these outside guys, the locks, and these guys you can turn a few times. Okay, here we go, put it back in. Okay, so we got our washer in there, we have this unit in there, we have lubrication in here, so this unit can flex a little bit with some grease and be more quiet. That's the goal. Got my nut in here. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at here. Alright, so I got pretty good pressure on here on the breaker bar. Now let me pull this guy off. There we go. Now make sure the circlip, the pin in here in the down direction goes into a notch, so it keeps the bolt from unlocking. There we go. Alright. Now I'm going to loosen the brake. This little add-on here. So we can hear it's nice and quiet, no noise. All right. Loosen our belt. And when you put this belt on there, make sure that you spin the wheel in neutral a few times unmotorized. Because you don't want surprises when you put this on, I'll put it together, you spin it up and it's too tight or too loose. That's not going to be good. Okay. Wow. Yeah. She is quiet. So before I did the service inside the hub here, this was making some ugly, crackly noise that made you think that the ball bearings were messed up. So I could not do this earlier. I mean, you could spin the wheel, but now this thing, what happens is you have this guy is aligning itself. Check the video here. Okay, now, so what I was saying earlier is, right now we could spin the wheel, it's nice and quiet. So I'm very happy with that. Earlier, when you would do this move, this, if you look at the disc right now, this driver unit, it stays straight, which is great. Before I took it apart, the unit was kind of going warped back and forth. It was kind of in a funk. Now it looks like it's actually staying true, which is great. The tension, I believe, is pretty good. Alright, we'll fire it up and see how it sounds. This is that super cool socket set that you can pick up at Harbor Freight. I love this. Just an FYI, cool set of tools. Alright, here, so basically I just took the bike for a test ride. The bike rode good, took it up to about 30 miles an hour. Now I'm putting back the cover on here. So basically we have snap locations where the tape is. Snap here, snap there, snap, snap, snap. Okay, and where we have the tape, we have smaller bolts. So on the smaller bolts, what I'm going to do is put some Loctite and then put it in there. Always want to do Loctite where you can. The longer bolts are fairly tight, but the shorter bolts is the ones I'm worried about losing. There we got Loctite on there. Pop our tape off, we're done. Alright guys, hope you got something useful out of this. I used to be a gearhead, now it's like, I'll save some money here and there. Otherwise, I'll pay the pros. But see you next time. Hello, thanks for watching. I hope you picked up a tip or two from this video. Years ago, I was a service tech and loved working on all kinds of equipment, from cars to copiers and all those types of things. Today, I only tinker with my own vehicles here and there. So anyways, hopefully this helped you a little bit. Now that you're at the end here, I did transition into personal and business coaching, and I would appreciate a follow. On this page here, I have an example of my Instagram feed, which is everything tied to personal growth. If you follow me on Twitter, there what I do is I focus on helping teams growth. So if you have a shop, you want to grow your teams, you want to make everybody more productive, come take a look there for some tips. Anyways, that's my permanent consulting that I do as of these days. Anyways, thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.